and welcome to Lord of Facts. What device are you currently watching this on? Your phone, the iPad, the computer, maybe the TV? Whatever the answer is, there's one thing we all know for certain, and that's that the device you're watching this on runs on electricity. Unless, of course, you're millions of years in the future and somehow electricity has become obsolete. If so, hi, from the year 2022. You may have heard of AC/DC. Not only are they a rock band, but also the names for the two types of current used. AC stands for alternating current, whereas DC stands for direct current. Direct current flows in one direction, whereas alternating current changes direction between moving forwards and backwards. DC is used in household devices, such as the one you're watching this on, whereas AC is used to transfer electrical current. AC is converted to DC for use in these appliances. The components in your computer are designed to work with a current that only flows in one direction, with the computer's power supply converting AC from the mains into DC for use in computer. Why is this the case? Why do we use AC rather than DC for long distance transmission? Well, this all goes back to a rivalry between two men, Thomas Edison and Nikola Tesla. Edison was a proponent of DC power, whereas Tesla believed AC was the better fit. Edison tried to create a generator using direct current. However, it was incredibly unreliable and constantly broke down. At this time, there was no method of transmitting DC electricity over long distances in a cost-effective manner. For a direct current system to work, there'd need to be a power station on every block in New York City, which would be incredibly impractical and expensive, not to mention ugly. Tesla believed AC to be superior to DC and came up with the concept of building an electric motor run on alternating current, as AC electricity used thinner wires and higher voltages and could carry electricity over longer distances, meaning fewer power stations would be needed and thereby making the whole ordeal much cheaper. But AC electrical networks also had massive advantages over DC networks in that they could use devices known as transformers. No, not that kind of transformer. Transformers allow voltage to be stepped up or increased whilst being transmitted long distances before being stepped down again at another transformer for use in homes. This works because the change in direction of the current creates a constantly changing magnetic field inside the transformer that induces a current and allows the transformer to function. In modern day Britain, the electrical voltage from your average plug socket is around 230 volts. However, the electrical voltage from national grid power lines is around 400,000 volts. It's a big difference. Tesla briefly worked for Edison when he first came over to America, before quitting and starting his own company, Tesla Electric Light and Manufacturing Company, which, despite having the Tesla name, was actually funded by two businessmen. When these businessmen decided to abandon manufacture and start up another business, Tesla was left penniless and so had to work at digging ditches just to make a living. Shortly afterwards, Tesla was approached by George Westinghouse, who was a successful inventor and entrepreneur, and most importantly, a proponent of AC power. Westinghouse and his engineers knew about the advantages of AC. When Westinghouse saw Tesla talk about the AC generator at a seminar, he bought patents for the equivalent of $5 million in today's money and hired Tesla for $2,000 per month. In the late 1880s and early 1890s, a current war took place between George Westinghouse and Thomas Edison, and by the turn of the 20th century, the current war was over, with AC current ultimately winning out. Edison wasn't a very nice man at all. When Nikola Tesla first came to work for Edison offered him $50,000 to fix many of the problems with the DC generators across New York City. However, when Tesla ultimately finished and attempted to claim his reward, Edison refused, saying he was joking about the money and that Tesla did not understand the American sense of humour. Unsurprisingly, shortly afterwards, Tesla decided to leave working for Edison. Another prime example of Edison's nastiness was his sheer utter ruthlessness in ensuring that Tesla did not succeed. Edison ran a massive smear campaign against Tesla in which he electrocuted live cats and dogs using AC to demonstrate the dangers of AC. In order to obtain these animals, Edison paid schoolboys 25 cents per head for live cats and dogs. He also electrocuted horses and an elephant. If you ask me, this was Edison's big mistake, as people generally don't take kindly to electrocuting cats and dogs. Howard Brown, an electrical engineer who worked for Edison, contributed to Edison's smear campaign by suggesting that AC power be the best method for powering the electric chair, which was on the US government's mind at the time. Brown set about trying to find a Westinghouse AC generator so he could not only power the chair, but also ensure Westinghouse's name would be forever associated with capital punishment. Edison's lawyers even took one step further in trying to obliterate Westinghouse by attempting to describe criminals who were killed in this method as being Westinghouse to death rather than electrocuted to death. This isn't the only time Edison tried to stop Tesla from revealing his inventions to the world. Radar is usually credited to have been invented by Robert A. Watson Watt in 1935. However, Nikola Tesla actually came up with the idea 18 years earlier in 1917 and pitched the idea to the US Navy in World War I. The reason Tesla's idea wasn't realised at the time was because Thomas Edison was the head of research and development for the US Navy at the time and convinced them that radar had no practical uses in war. Despite what you may have been taught, Edison didn't actually invent the light bulb and instead simply improved upon the ideas of other men who pioneered the light bulb before him. He wasn't a scientist or an inventor. His real talent was in marketing the inventions of other scientists and passing them off as his own, believing that the value of inventions was determined by how much money they could make. Elon Musk himself, the founder of Tesla Motors, even said in an interview that he admired Edison more and considered him a role model, as Edison marketed and helped bring inventions to the masses. Which does kind of make sense. Elon Musk is undoubtedly a smart guy, but he's also a businessman. Although Musk holds Edison in high regard, he doesn't completely dismiss Tesla, calling his company Tesla because the cars use an AC induction motor, and has stated that he thinks Tesla deserves more play than he gets in current society. Elon Musk received a large degree of criticism for this hot take and responded by donating $1 million to the Tesla Museum in New York. The tale of Tesla and Edison's rivalry is fascinating, but so are Tesla's other inventions. Join me in the next video as I discuss the inventions and oddities of Nikola Tesla. Thanks for watching.